Hello, this is Maria, and today I will present you about the Haitian Revolution and why it was ignored by historians and the reasons behind its ignorance. So, firstly, the Haitian Revolution was one of the great and inspiring events in history, being it was the first revolution in which slaves confronted their oppressors and was led by a ruler of former slave called Toussaint Louverture in Saint Domingo. It occurred and in 1791, also ending up with its independence from France in 1804, and also becomes the first modern country to abolish slavery. Behind all this greatness, Haitian Revolution was ignored by historians. Also, it has been neglected by Western scholars. So, what makes it different and unique from other revolutions that happened during the whole world? And although it was such an important event that occurred in history, why was it forgotten by historians? To answer this question, I have come with two major sources, and here is my first one, still unthinkable. Sapien is the author of this article, and I saw that he gave his most attention to the chapter called Unthinkable History in Silencing Book, as it was such a way to introduce people to Haitian history and help it to make the Haitian revolution on a large scale. Also, some historians wrote about it, and whereas some didn't and call it trivial to be such a remarkable event in history. So the reason that historians saw the revolution as trivial is that because they think in a racist way, that how slaves can be a state free from slave, and that's it. That's it. That they are just black slaves and they are only fit to be slaves. And also avoiding mentioning the heroes and excessive respect of revolutionary leader, and to acknowledge the exponential achievements of the only successful slave revolution in Americans. Also, Europeans in the 18th century thought about existential racism and put an end to the Haitian Revolution and exclude its significance from historical record, saying that slaves are out of freedom and they are such as savages and not from progressive people. And to follow with, here is my second major source, hashing up the Haitian Revolution. This article points out the reason behind its ignorance in the early 18th and 19th century, saying that Western scholars should be blamed for forgetting the revolution because all the indexes of historical books include mentioning all the events of revolution around the world, while the Haitian Revolution did not mention, and because they believed that black people were incapable to organize themselves and embark on a revolution led by a leader of slaves, also to defend three different nations and slavery. Uh, that also historians argued that white people are superior to blacks because blacks couldn't be able to take care of themselves. But here, the black people have shown the opposite. Like they continue to win battles against France in 1804, also Spain and British as well. Also, historians mention that blacks were fighting for their freedom when they in turn don't even know the word freedom in their languages. And to sum up with a very different kind of revolution and the only successful slave revolt in history, I highlighted the Great Haitian Revolution led by a leader of slaves and an army of all slaves defending their rights and fight for their freedom, also ending up with its independence and slavery, and that Western historians ignored because they said that slaves are not fit to be able to organize and stabilize themselves. And thanks for listening. And here is my sources. And please, I, if you have any question, feel free to ask me. Thank you.